que j'ai noté que le représentant de la Commission, mais vous me direz si je me trompe, hein, a indiqué qu'il y a une suspension des paiements pour Mayotte. C'est bien ça? Une suspension des paiements pour Mayotte. Je veux rappeler que, je l'ai dit d'ailleurs, que Mayotte est la région européenne la plus pauvre et que de toutes les régions françaises, Mayotte est la seule région où l'autorité de gestion, ce n'est pas des collectivités, mais c'est l'État. C'est l'État qui gère directement les fonds pour Mayotte. Et vous nous annoncez qu'il y a une suspension des paiements pour la région la plus pauvre de l'Union européenne, ce qui est un constat d'échec total, absolu pour l'État en France. Et je crois qu'il faudra, ce n'est pas cet après-midi, mais il faudra qu'on regarde ensemble les raisons pour lesquelles la Commission a été conduite à prendre cette décision de suspension des paiements qui va encore, évidemment, encore un peu plus aggraver la situation sur place. Je vous donne la parole, Monsieur Poppens, pour 5 minutes maximum, puis je donne la parole à Monsieur l'ambassadeur.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to everybody for these very important questions. To answer your question on Mayotte, it's true. All I can say, we have an interruption of payment deadline. It's not a suspension. It will not, hopefully, arrive at the suspension of a program because, as I said, we have an action plan. We are working. There were important irregularities there which could lead to potential correction. Our aim was to avoid the corrections, even at the closure, and this is why there is an action plan. I hope in the next months to come we will be able to resume payments to Mayotte program. We do realize how important it is for Mayotte. It was a program which was added last to the list of French programs last time around, and so indeed it's very sensitive but also critical, so we are working on that. When it comes to other questions, so first of all, on the information on the concrete results is available on open data platform. For the first period, we are operating the open data platform where we take data which come from member states and then we transform them to the open data platform. And there you can go and experiment. If you are interested, I can resend the links and the demos. You can look per program, per country, per investment field, and you can see the reported outputs, how many enterprises have been supported. Okay, that is a statistical information. We, of course, aim at a more quality assessment on what's happening in the programs for which we are analyzing annual reports. And there, through, and also cohesion report, I think, gave a very important findings on the fact that indeed in some countries there are disparities still growing or they are not being reduced at a speed. So I can reassure you that this is something we want to tackle even more in the post-2020 period based on a new regulatory frame. We will also launch some new initiatives. We were just discussing the new regional outlook, which, you know, I cannot talk about it today yet, but hopefully we will also launch more analytical work on exactly how regions are impacted by you know, certain policies, crises, but also how they develop, not just for countries, but for regions. You know very well that data on regional level are not always comparable. On regional level maybe, but I also agree that we are also more interested to understand what happens at sub-regional level, below NUTS 3, which is mountains, islands, all the territories which are to a certain extent specific geographic territories with their own functional coverage and their own needs and specificities. And in our negotiations with member states for the post-2020 period, because we have to respect the setup of the programs in every member state, in Bulgaria, by the way, we do have a program which is called OP Regions in Growth. I don't have a full amount for this program, but it invests in health management, in regional tourism, regional health infrastructure, regional educational and social infrastructure. So it gives support to regions, and Bulgaria, for the first time, I think Sofia has moved to the level of a transition region. So in fact, Sofia region will lose enormous funding for the next period compared to current period, while the rest of the Bulgaria will receive it. Of course, we still need to make sure that all the regions work together under the functional areas for innovation and research. But I can reassure you, as well I said last time, for our commissioner and for us, the key is to make sure that in the new period, the needs of less developed regions are addressed much more efficiently, much more targeted. We are not accepting transfers. They are legal. They are agreed by you, by the co-legislators. They are possible, but we are really asking for argumentation in each and every case. We are trying to limit those transfers to capital regions. And even if we accept the transfer, then we make sure that the investment measures will contribute to the whole country. In some cases, like e-governance, it has to happen in the capital first and then cover the whole country. And there are innovation as well. Sometimes you cannot create, although you cannot create excellency centers everywhere from zero, but for less developed regions, for innovation, you know very well, we are working under the concept of smart specialization, which is mainstream now. And there, the new regulatory frame actually gives a better link between the project call, selection criteria, and the link to those smart strategies. So the less developed regions should receive more targeted funding also for innovation, for example. But again, this is something which requires certain further reflections as well, because it's true that we cannot impose on a country to create a program for one region, and also it's linked very much to what some of you said is a capacity. We do have problems with capacity sometimes, and we cannot give in totally on simplification, although it is our primary target to simplify and to make sure that the capacity of final beneficiaries and our managing authorities is adequate. So we are working on that, and obviously I also share the question on France and the CARE and the CRI. I can reassure you that in our negotiations with France, but in all countries, the first question we ask when they submit REACT-EU proposals is, are you going to use REACT-EU to support the situation which is now created by the refugee crisis? And in many cases, the answer is no, because we have sufficient funding somewhere else. And we have to respect that. But indeed, we would like to see the CARE also used in France more. So we are still haven't given up the hopes. We will still be looking at the second tranche of REACT-EU, which can be used under the new CARE proposals. And also, of course, as I said before, it's true, most of the funding available or not paid yet is in the outermost regions, where I don't know if the refugee situation there will deteriorate based on the crisis in Ukraine. It would probably mostly happen in the more developed regions in France, so it's very difficult. We wouldn't want them to shift money away. No way it's possible. So there has to be, I think, a balanced approach. But certainly, as you see in Fast Care, our aim is to give more funding to NGOs and civil society and local authorities from those amounts that will be reprogrammed for refugees. And just the last point is that that new policy objective, because when we implement under thematic policy objectives, sometimes I agree it's difficult to address the specific territorial and regional needs. This is why we have created this new policy objective, number 5, which actually allows, and we are working with member states to make sure that, and the new article, which can address the specific needs of mountainous areas, islands, and all specific territories, should be used. But it's the first time we are implementing it, so we would rely also on all your support to promote these novelties in our regulatory frame so that we can, the member states and regional authorities, pick them up seriously. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Ce qui est certain pour la France, c'est que le développement de la région Île-de-France ou de la région Rhône-Alpes n'a aucun effet de ruissellement sur les régions ultra-périphériques. Et notre collègue Pekkarinen a raison de poser la question de la convergence à l'intérieur même des pays. Et quelle que soit l'intervention de la politique régionale et des politiques européennes, il y a des préalables en France que l'État doit poser pour ce qui relève de ses responsabilités, pour que ce qu'on appelle ces outre-mer ne soit pas, comme on dit, abandonné. Parce que autrement, il est bien évident que tous les efforts réalisés à travers la politique régionale ne pourront atteindre que très difficilement les objectifs que nous nous sommes posés et auxquels nous sommes attachés.